Okay, guys, so can y'all hear me? Testing, testing. Can y'all hear me? You should be able to. It's showing that you can. And so I think I got the sound fixed. Sorry about this morning. I don't know what is going on. All right. Thanks for the thanks for that for letting me know. Yeah, I finally got it working, man. I don't know what is going on with it, man, but sheesh. Pain in the butt trying to get this to work. All right, let me try to get Mitch in here now. But I'm starting up everything now. Just give me a second, guys. I will be there in a minute. What's up, two-way? Can you hear me? Yeah, y'all should be able to hear me. All right, I'm getting Mitch in here, guys. Hold on. Let me pull all my stuff up again. All right, at least I got it working before the open. I hope I didn't jinx myself here, but at least I got it working before the open. All right, so let's get everything up. All right, so I got everything working. Now my Isaac. What's up, Enduro? Good morning, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened with my sound this morning. I don't know why it didn't want to cooperate. I had to restart my computer and that worked. But man, who knows what was going on with that. Hold on. All right, can everybody hear Mitch now?
Are we good? We good?
I think we are good now. Man, I don't know what is up with my computer this morning, man, but we got it working. All right. Before the open, we did it. All right, guys. Looking at AMD, AVCO, a lot of other ones here. Market really getting hit.
Super getting hit, but it was all
Whoa.
pre-market action. I mean, now I'm seeing CGC really get hit.
Yep.
CGC is one thing I see really get hit. I mean,
AMRN's getting hit too.
oh, that's a good one. That's a good one to watch. I'm looking for stocks that were kind of bounced back on the dailies when the SPY came back now, but were down and really down, had really bad news before.
Look at Kron
And
spike. Sorry.
yeah,
I
that's
just
right to the VWAP.
yeah, it's
Right to
going
the,
it's going against the market. Weird.
we'll see. We'll see if it gets above it though.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's kind of like a bounce to that VWAP action.
Yeah.
We were getting those quick bounces on MU. MU already washed out through its whole intraday range that I was expecting. It already went from 38, 30s all the way down to 36 there.
Yeah,
And we're
man.
talking a big move, $1.25 move,
Weird.
$1.50.
Yeah, it's some weird movement in the market today, honestly.
I mean, that's a hell of a turn,
Yeah.
and at an important price point, we're starting to go down. If we get under 260s, it can really be a down day today.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a pretty significant drop. I mean, especially like you look at something like AMD. There's the bell, man. I wasn't even ready for it. All right, let's do this, guys.
Now I'm watching this.
AVCO pushing up. All right, I guess I'm a little bit more long biased now. I mean, I think the SPY might bounce it. It just depends. I don't know. Kron is up. Kron had a spike before the open. AVCO dropping. What's up, Mike? Yeah, sorry guys. Sound issue this morning before the stream, but we got it working, so we're up.
ACB getting hit there. Let me see if it starts giving that downward swing.
Yeah, AMD bouncing back.
Yeah, one of the key things is we already got that first down push. Now I'm trying to see what's going to happen here.
Look at
There's a
Kron.
nice down push on ACB.
Kron spiking up here.
Seems like we're getting a little bit all over the place.
Yep. Just be careful today, guys. Oh wait, let me get the intraday scanners up. Sorry. Here. There we go. All right, we got BLPH popping up on the breakout scanner. BLPH. It's not really moving that much. AVCO giving up some of it back here. All right, so honestly, today's range is huge on AMD, and so if I take it, it'll probably be like 100 shares because honestly, with the first two candles being a 50-cent range, it's a pretty big range here. We'll see. I mean, it's just a big range today. A big drop in AMD. I mean, it dropped $1.75 or so, $1.50 before the close or before the open just now, and so huge drop. I'm gonna see if I can look up to see why it dropped like this. Let me see. Let me pull this up. Because I know the market dropped and AMD could be following the overall market, but all right, so MU and AMD and Intel shares are down because NVIDIA cut revenue and gross margin guidance. And they also, NVIDIA, had bad revenue. So that's what's making these microchip stocks push down is that NVIDIA had bad revenue and gross margin guidance. So that's what's going on. And I mean, I know the overall market is down, but that could also be getting affected by the same thing. All right, AMD getting ready to test these lows of the day here. It's down to 2078. AVCO has so far just washed out all day. It's down to 650, but AMD just broke those lows of the day here. And that range is still pretty big here. I mean, the range is about 50 cents or so for this first candle. I mean, this is some volatility that we may get here.
Spot heading down there.
Yep, SPY down, AMD down, MU up. Believe it or not, MU is actually bouncing back, trading against AMD too. Not against it, but just going the opposing way. Let's see what else we got. BIOC ended up washing out, kind of like AVOC or AVCO. AVCO kind of looks like a fade. I can't trade it, but it kind of looks like a fade here. All right, so now's this point where I got to really start looking for the opening range breakout on AMD here. We got a lot of volatility. Got to mark down the highs and the lows. High is at about 2072. Low is about 2015 or so. Let me clear this. There's too much nonsense on this chart right now. Alright. That's better. Alright, so looking at AMD.
SPY heading down good. Keeps heading down.
Like I said, the opening range breakout worked every single day last week. It worked. So it kind of just goes to show if 1 week's bad, you can't use that to judge how the strategy is. AVCO had a nice VWAP fade so far. I mean, I can't trade it, but I was looking at that one for AVCO. Nice little VWAP fade there. AMD still in this opening range here.
All right, AMRN took a turn there. Went to VWAP, got it slightly above it, then we came right back down below it.
If you like to trade, here,
interesting there. No, it looked interesting there. Also, APHA at VWAP fade.
I'm also looking at I can't trade it, but BIOC. If you could trade these cheaper stocks, BIOC is starting to test that high of the day at 225. Originally it dropped down to 210. It's pushing up to 225 now. Cron is actually at the VWAP here. Cron, CRON, doesn't look bad. SPY bouncing back a little bit here. All right, BIOC broke that high of the day. SPY is still kind of, it's down, but it's sideways now. CRON breaking past that VWAP. But yeah, BIOC breaking out here, breaking that high of the day like I was looking for. Can't trade it, but it is making that move. SPY starting to drop a little bit now as well. And really, the more kind of AMD stays in this opening range, the stronger it may be when it actually breaks out of it. So I don't mind it staying in this range here, and I can just continue to watch it. A few things starting to actually bounce back some. MU specifically, up on the day. AMD definitely following the SPY this morning. Short 2060. Right around the VWAP. I don't know. I'll have to look at it. It doesn't look terrible for that fade. I see what you mean with it. But yeah, we'll see. I think it all depends on what the SPY does. What happened 2A? Nice, bro. Yeah, man. I mean that washout long on BIOC looked good. It looked pretty good.
All right, we're getting kind of stocks holding for a second there. I think what we want to see is the overall market. If it can crack underneath this kind of, I'm watching it more on an hourly basis. And we're going down to supports of 262.39.
Cannabis stock starting to bounce back a little bit here. CGC up on the day. It's green. It just broke the high of the day. It's up to 48.75. We
Yeah,
got
MBEB broke out there.
MBEV spiking up here.
Stocks going up.
Yep. Cron up now as well. So we're getting some spikes in the cannabis stocks. Somebody's cutting the grass, huh?
Yeah, I'll mute out for a little bit.
All right, AMD's starting to drop back down here. Like I said, that low of the day is at about 2015 or so. SPY dropping down, SPY breaking down here. Like I said, AMD's starting to break this low here. It's starting to test this low. It's down to 2025 now. MU spiking up here. PCG is actually up on the day as well. So, but AMD's down to the 2020s. Are you long or short, Mike? AMD down to 2018s. See what happens. The market's bouncing back here. The SPY is actually bouncing back. It's up to 262.90 now. Oh, you're long? Yeah, I mean, I think it could bounce at these lows here. It just depends on what the market does. Still kind of staying in this opening range for AMD. Down at 2016s. Get 150 shares.
Breakout on MBEV, breakout on ACB, and pretty much all the wheat stocks holding really strong.
All right, here's the test of that low of the day on AMD. All right, I'm short 125 shares. Like I said, I don't mind getting in with the small share size just because the range is huge on AMD today. So looking for it to break this low and continue here, but it's a small enough share size to where I'm okay regardless. Down to 2007s, 2004s. All right, so AMD did break down under the low of the day now. We'll see if it breaks $20 here. I think that's a big level. AMD bouncing right back up here. Quick bounce too. Still got some area. We'll see if it turns into resistance or so. But yeah, AMD quickly bounced off of 20.
MBEV shooting off there, guys, along with other wheat stocks.
MBEV, look at Cron. Yeah, the wheat stocks are going crazy here. All right, so AMD is actually back down to these lows. It's going to test it again. Let's see if it breaks 20 this time. Looks weak, but like I said, I think it really depends on what the market does here. And the market's starting to push up a little bit.
AMRN getting hit hard there.
Look at cannabis stocks really run here.
Yep.
AMD bouncing again here at these lows. Yeah, days like today are days I really don't mind taking small size, especially with all the volatility with like AMD and the market in general.
MBV getting a real drive up there.
Yeah, man. I'm watching Kron. Kron's moving up there too, man. AMD popping back up too.
There you go. AMRN really starting to signify a down move. Just crashing down there.
Look at AMR and Go. I just looked at that one too. But look at BIOC. BIOC still running up pretty strong here, really. AMD bouncing back up. Who knows? Like, I guess when I see AMD down so much, I guess I'm a little bit more long biased in it. But we'll see what the opening range breakout gives us. Just got to stick with the strategy, I think, especially with last week it working every single day. Just kind of got to stick with it.
Yeah, AMRN, that took the real turn there.
What's up, Scott? Yeah, I just took the opening range breakout on AMD. It's still too early to tell. But again, I think it depends on what the market does. I mean, the market's down a lot, and so a lot of times the market's going to rebound when it's down this much. And so I'm just sticking with the plan, sticking to the risk I gave myself. This is why I took small sizing in the trade. It's just because the range's huge. Still a little early to tell, though. All right, market pulling backs up here. We should get a drop in AMD as well. Seems to be following the market pretty close today. It just depends on how much the market washes out more. If it washes out more here, and really at testing that 263 level, it's at 262.90s, right around 263, rebounding big here. And so I think it's going to test that whole dollar there, and we'll see if that makes it move a little bit more. Yeah, NBEV, Kron, cannabis stocks really kind of going crazy here. Look at these go here. The cannabis stocks up to 1650s on Kron. CGC's up a ton. AMRN is really getting hit. AMD back down. Let's see if it tests that $20 level again and breaks it. You know, ideally we want to see it break this $20 level down here and hold that area as resistance. And so we'll see. But market bounce back. We might get that in AMD as well. Just depends. It's definitely following the market some. But pretty volatile SPY this morning. And AMD. A lot of these other ones are pretty volatile. PCG. What is PCG doing? Let's see. I had it pulled up. Let me find it.
Short there, it's some Tiva. Looking to add also.
There's the market pulling back down some. AVCO, a few people talking about that. I know BIOC went crazy, but yeah, there goes AVCO here. Breaking the lows. the market pulling down some.
Yep. I'm short on
Nice.
TiVo, good at 49. Looking to add some here on a bounce.
What's your risk?
It's 55.
Okay. I don't mind that one. All right, market really diving here, guys. It's down to 260, 250. Just broke under that. So the market's actually really getting hit here.
There we go.
TRV in popping up on the scanners here. Penny stock, but TRV in spiking up. LABD spiking up big here as well. So we're getting some spikes here. We'll just see what the market does here. It may bounce right here. You know, if you look at the SPY, I drew some resistance and support level right here at about 260,
Oh,
250.
look at AMRN. Should have been staying on that one. Look at that.
Yeah,
That thing died.
yeah, that thing did
I
die.
was trying to short it up there at the 70s.
Right.
That would have been 70 cents already.
And AMD's
That's a one to watch right now. DVAX crashed there. NIO looking good.
yeah, looking a little worse for my AMD trade. I think it's following the SPY, but I think that overall it depends on the microchip sector. I think MU is up a ton today, and so got to be careful here and stick to my risk. But
I saw a nice 130,000 share cover there in 1590s on AMRN. Whoever that was made a hefty,
big
hefty
order.
gain.
Yeah, for
Hefty
sure.
gain right there. They're like, oh, I'll take those 70 cents.
Yeah, for sure. How big was it?
130,000.
Oof, huge order.
Yeah, it's $16 or $16.60. We're talking a lot.
Yeah, Nvidia is down a lot. Nvidia had bad revenue that came out today, and I think that's why you see Nvidia bouncing a little bit here. I think that's why AMD's bouncing as well. It had bad revenue. It just may be oversold is the only thing that I got to look out for, is that it may be a little oversold. Huge drop. Like I said, I'm a little bit more long biased in it overall today, but the opening range breakout was on the downside, but may have been oversold just because, look at these drops for AMD both and Nvidia. MU actually rebounded all day today. It just started pushing up today. So MU is up, kind of fighting back here a little bit after bad revenue for it. So but still too early to tell. I'm just gonna stick with the trade plan, and if it works out, it works out. If not, no worries. I think I just got to stick to it, let it work. I think regardless. Yeah, I mean, regardless of what happens, I mean, I think documenting how viable the opening range breakout has value in itself, right? So, like, even if it doesn't work out, even if, it doesn't work out for 1 or 2 weeks, I think just the value in documenting it for people to see is worthwhile,
I would definitely agree with that.
Shadow, I'm just sticking with the opening range breakout. Last week, the opening range breakout worked every single day. And so the week before wasn't good. Last week was good. And so, like I said a few weeks ago, it's still a little early to tell. You need a decent sample size to see whether it's really going to be viable. That first red week I had trading it, a lot of people came out saying, oh, this is what you need to do and this is what you need to do. But the truth is that it's just too early to tell. You need a decent sample size when you test anything, and a week isn't a big sample size at all. And so I think it's human nature naturally. Like if you have a bad week, for them to come out and kind of not play like the self-righteous high ground, but kind of tell you what you did wrong. I think it's kind of human nature. But like I said, that week, I think it's a little early to tell. And so at this point, it's just documenting it, and it kind of goes to show sticking to the plan and the value in that, and just seeing what's going to happen here. All right, we got to drop back down on AMD. SPY coming down too, so we'll just see. AMD, it's kind of in a fine balance between following the SPY and following the overall market. With the market moving down some, it should help some momentum on the downside, but I'm watching Nvidia, which is the cause of the big drop. in pre-market today. It was actually Nvidia that was dropping, causing the microchip stocks like MU, AMD to drop with it. And so I'm watching the SPY and I'm watching Nvidia right now to see what's going to happen with those two. Obviously a down move would be beneficial for me, but we'll see. We got a little pullback here.
All right, we're getting a slap to the 40s. There you go, some big sizing showing up there.
I've heard of ABEV. Let me see. Yeah, I've heard of ABEV before. I think I've traded it a while back. AWSM pushing up if you like penny stocks. AUDC. A little volatile. Tiva down. You're still in Tiva, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice, man. Looking good for you, bro. You take profits at this low yet?
I'm about to.
Okay.
I'm watching it load up there, seeing if it's gonna crack. Cause it looks like it's gonna crack through the bid right now.
Yeah, I could pull you up for a second.
Oh.
I just gotta keep watching AMD
All right.
here.
Looks like we're gonna get a little bounce there, so I'm gonna take some there. I'm gonna take 300 there, guys. Looking to increase size. Anything back up there to 1950s. 1950s. Got to go ahead and pay myself there.
Sorry, I'm pulling you up so we can watch you, but I also want to keep track of AMD. So, all right, you're up.
Yep. I already took off 300 shares there, guys. Shorted this at 49s. Covered there at the 40. Covered 300 shares there now. I'm going to hold.
SPY back down to the lows here.
Yeah, I'd like to see it just crack the lows and just keep on coming down. I'll look for another stock to get into. You can see it hold kind of these this small flag pattern that it did there. 51 would be kind of that switch or reversal. So right now 51, 52 is my out. I'm gonna let this bounce up here, looking probably to increase size somewhere in the 51 or 52. If I can do that, I'll go ahead and take a chance right above it with maybe a cent risk or a break-even risk and take a big sizing trade.
Yeah, for sure.
I like how MBEV is setting up for either a breakout or a breakdown. If you guys see the flag on that one, MBEV.
All right, guys, and TradeNet's New Year's sale is over, but you can still get 10% off TradeNet packages if you go through my link here. And so if you're interested in using the broker that Mitch and I are using, you can go check out the link I just posted in the chat. We make a commission if you go through our link, but it's one of the ways we keep the stream free. And so if you want to use the broker that we do, you can check out that link I just posted and get 10% off. Also, I know a few people were having trouble getting in touch with TradeNet last week. They were having server issues. They did send out an email to all their users. And so they were having server issues last week. They should be fixed now. And so that's what was going on with last week. But, yeah, we'll see what we get with AMD. Still got a while to go before I get stopped out here. And so just watching NVIDIA, watching the market in general.
Yeah, I see a lot of the wheat stocks and flag plays. They're all on like a flag right now. So
yeah, for sure.
Especially Cron, MBEV, ACB.
CGC is in one.
Yeah, so know your supports. Know where you should be getting in and out on these kind of patterns. That's what we teach.
Got my trading window up here.
Yep. I'm getting this bounce here. How's the overall market doing? Let me see my
It's bouncing some, but it's down. I mean, it's bouncing up to the VWAP some now. I would love for NVIDIA or the SPY to get rejected here from my play. It would probably help yours as well, but...
Yeah, 15-minute, I see nothing but red, at least still.
Yep.
But it is getting now those wicks at the bottom.
For sure.
And so we know what that means. That means pressure is starting to hold up there. You see AMRN, that was a beauty.
That one did get hit, man. Seriously.
It just kind of popped over VWAP just a little bit too much for my interest. And so since it was up there at the 80s, I wanted it to stay in the 70s so that I could risk about 10 to 20 cents on there.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
that one definitely had possibility.
Yeah, Nvidia is actually bouncing back some. I think that's causing AMD to run back up. Somebody said AMD has earnings tomorrow. Well, I know I'm selling it before then. I never heard hold through earnings, man. Way too risky for me, you know.
All right, so flag looks like it's breaking out on Cron. Gonna look for it on ACB. MBEV looks like it's breaking out also, charging up there at least. Let's see if it's a full breakout or just a fake out.
Exactly, Isaac. A coin flip, man. That's the best it is. It's
Yep.
just a coin flip with earnings. Trying to hold through earnings, man. I'm not. You know, I think that's for gamblers. I'm not trying to gamble here. I did enough gambling in New Orleans when I was there. But yeah, man, my wife and I actually went to go play poker in New Orleans, and this is a good lesson for everybody to learn here. Is that every time I played poker, I won money. I won like a few $100s playing poker this weekend at Harris in New Orleans. And then my wife would want to go play blackjack, and I would lose everything I won in poker playing blackjack. It's a really about. I actually profited overall on the weekend, but blackjack I could have made like $500, but blackjack took it back. It's a good lesson. Stick with what
Blackjack.
you have an edge in. You know.
It took it back.
Yeah, man. Dude, it was brutal, man. I won like $150 playing poker in literally like 30 minutes, which is pretty quick.
Then you started playing the 21 game.
Well, yeah, man. Then we move over to blackjack, and I swear we lost like $100 within like 20 minutes. You know, $15 minimum bet blackjack. It was fun, but man, it was
Yeah,
brutal.
blackjack. Blackjack's hard. It's one of those that either win or lose.
Yeah, man. Oh, dude, I love poker, Jason. I play every day. Um, but yeah, we got owned in blackjack, which kind of blackjack's just luck. You know, yeah, you can get good at blackjack, but the house is always going to have a small edge on you no matter what. You know, the reason.
MBV buyout there, guys. That's a full on breakout right there. Volume in the match. Looking like it's breaking out there. Had a nice flag. 677. Support was right there at 675. Could have had a 2 cent risk on this play.
Oh, that's mean. That's mean, Isaac. That hurts, bro. That hurts, man. Isaac in here saying sounds like the Saints did really well first quarter, then tanked at the end. Thanks, bro. That's mean, man. That's mean. That hurts my feelings, Isaac.
Hey, man.
What do you mean, fashion?
Isaac speaks the truth.
Right. Hey, y'all get out of here, man. Mitch, you're just upset. You're just upset. Florida lost
It's okay. You
versus
get to see the
LSU.
Rams in the Super Bowl, bro.
I mean, you're just mad LSU beat your team, bro. You're just mad
You can't
LSU
even
won.
remember them.
That's all I'm saying.
You can't even remember who it is.
It's UCF, right? You're a UCF fan, right? University
Bro,
of
they're
Central
national
Florida.
champions.
Yeah, but they're. I mean, come on now, get out of here with that.
National champions.
We all know the truth. We all know the truth. You know,
They could have beat Bama, bro.
coulda, woulda, shoulda, man. When they just, you know.
All right, there we're seeing a little swing there at MU. It looks like a full reversal from the range that broke down in pre-market.
You know.
Looks like we're getting that full range reversal there. I actually like when it does this. It kind of does a full down move, then a full move up. Now it's had formed that double top there at 62s on MU. Looking at those 62s. I'm looking for Tiva to hold here in 1950. Don't really want above 1950. As it's held some pretty good volume down here. Just wanted to turn around and kind of head down through those 1940s. I can just hold on these shares.
Yeah, AMD pulling back here with the reason it's pulling back though I think is because Nvidia dropped down some to about 135 or so. Yeah, we're using TradeNet for our broker. Fashion. We're using not TradeNet. Technically, it's TAFs. We're using TAFs as our executing broker. If you want to check them out, you can go through this link. Fashion style. So yeah, if anybody wants 10% off TradeNet packages, you can go through this link.
All right, one that's looking good is AMAT. AMAT, if you're not in a stock and you're looking short, I like that one. Starting to get that kind of move back down below 38.38s. I'd let it crack there, and then you can risk off of that 50 mark.
Yeah, SPY just broke the low. All right. Well, so far so good, I guess, with AMD. Still kind of sticking with the range. Just gonna keep following it.
All right, got to be careful. It's going to approach the 50s here for my trade on Tiva. Don't want it above these 50s.
I mean, we should get a drop here with the SPY
Nice
dropping.
reject.
Yeah, we should get a drop here, is what I was
Nice
thinking.
reject off that resistance there.
What do you mean TTF stocks next level? All right, so we're right around that previous support level at about, what is this level at on AMD? I think this is the big level to watch, which is right around 2010 or so. But Nvidia dropping back down some, and the SPY rebounding some here, so I think AMD may
All
rebound
right,
some
got to be
too.
careful here. At that point, like seeing that reaction there. Every single time it's approaching 1950s, heavy volume blocking it. See right here what we're gonna get here.
Later insurance. Have a good day, brother. All right, CGC broke down here, broke down on that flag play on that 1 minute chart. Looked like a decent flag on a 1 minute on CGC. It's actually breaking down to it now at about 48.50. So I'm guessing the cannabis stocks are going to start dropping here now.
All right.
All right, so we got the market rebounding here back to the VWAP. I think that's going to dictate what the rest of these do. If it gets rejected at the VWAP, or if it actually breaks past it this time and starts to have maybe a green move up.
Yeah, I'm watching mine. I'm not gonna add here. I'm gonna see if it can get above 1950. If it doesn't, then I'll like to tackle it in the 1945s with big size.
All right, Mike, have a good day, brother. Yeah, be careful today, guys. A lot of really a lot of volatile movement on with most of these, specifically in pre-market, but some after the bell as well. We're getting some volatile movement. VALE was a nice little fade off the
Right
VWAP
there,
there.
it's past 50 there. Don't want it to 52. 52 the risk right now.
Yeah, man. Jason said blood in the water and 2 ways waving from his yacht. Desert Edge says I drink the blood.
All right, I'm out there on Tiva. We got a little bit popped over that level that we're supposed to hold to, so we're gonna get out. Still got a $19 gain. Just gonna relax and wait for the next move. Try to tackle down.
I was born in it, raised in it. You know. All right, we're getting a rebound here. SPY's back up to the VWAP. I think that's why we're getting some of these upward moves here.
Yep.
Upward move on Nvidia as well as the SPY and AMD. So we're getting some rebounds here.
Yeah, let's see if MU breaks that high. The double tapped on. Also, wheat stock setting up is ACB. ACB has a good flag pattern there. Nice flag pattern for ACB.
All right, AMD's in this little channel here, though. We'll see if it holds this channel level. Kind of continuing to bounce back and forth between that high and low.
Yeah, I like right now.
Look at Tiva go, man. That one, you got out at the right time. That one really started to spike here.
Yeah, man, you got to know when to get out.
Yeah,
know
for
your
sure.
know your level. Respect it. This is what it is. You know, sometimes you're gonna get bigger profits. Sometimes you're gonna get a loss, and sometimes you're just gonna have to get out. You know.
Yep.
All right, looking at ACB here. ACB looking interesting.
All right, SPY's moving back down some from the VWAP. We may get some more down moves here. It just depends. Nvidia still bouncing off that VWAP and spiking up here, so Nvidia may look like it starts to rebound here, and so got to watch that one as well. I was watching BIOC this morning. What is it doing now? It kind of pulled back some. Had a nice washout long though.
AMRN back above VWAP. That one's interesting. 640. Maybe you can look for a 660 risk, 20 cents. The gain could be 40 cents.
What's up, Todd? What's up, brother?
It's definitely making a move pop back up. CGC setting up on a flag. All right, it's gonna be a big moment right here for ACB. Big candle. See what happens here if it gets bought up here in the 90s. Big buyer there, 4,900 shares.
All right, SPY pulling back down here now. At this point, all I can really hope is that the SPY actually really breaks down on the upside. It's kind of chopped down a little bit today. It's been down some, but a lot of times we'll start to get a nice breakout around this time on one side or the other, and so we'll see if we get a big move that we're looking for. But if not, I like the risk in this one so far. Still in the range, still holding it to that level, and that's all I can really do with the opening range breakout. Like I said, I think the opening range breakout is definitely viable. I just think I had bad luck with the week I started trading it with live money, and so I think I just have to stick with the plan, and regardless of what short-term results, I need to just stick with it, even just for testing's sake. I think it's beneficial.
All right, let's see what happens here with ACB. Let's see if it's going to get smacked down again, or is it going to curve around here and start heading towards that resistance.
What's up, ML? Welcome, brother. Welcome, man. Oh, we did get a few new subs today. Let me give them a shout out. My sub bar isn't working today, man. So, hey, any new subs we got today, I appreciate it. Welcome, guys. I can't see who you are, but any new subs today, I appreciate it. I don't know what happened with it. Weirdness today with my internet. Sound didn't work, and a few things not working.
In minutes, looks like the SPY is starting to hold. Let's see what happens here. Next 15-minute candle is going to be important.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the SPY on a 15-minute chart.
Okay. You looking at any stock in particular?
Right now, the only one that looks good is ACB. ACB, that's a really easyable kind of read right there. That's just a flag play right there, holding. You got the support there off 686, resistance right up there to 95s, 96. If this gets bought up in the 690s, could break out through 7, or it could make a down move through that 86.
Yeah,
like that candle right there, that closed right there. Good bullish sign.
Yep. AMD dropping back down some. But yeah, Isaac, like I was saying, I'm still in AMD. All I can really do, like the opening range breakout, one of my favorite things about them is that it's very binary. It's very black or white with the opening range breakout. Like either it works or it doesn't. And so I just have to let it go to my levels and stick to my levels. And I think, that's one of my favorite things about it is that it's super defined where my levels are. In this case, if it breaks the high of the day, I'm out, and that's all I can really do. And so I just have to let it work until it reaches the high of the day and, just hold it through that. That's why I took small sizing today because, the one thing I do have to consider with the opening range breakout is how big that first 5-minute candle's range is. And in this case, it was a pretty big range for that first candle, which makes sense considering how volatile and down it was in pre-market. And so it's about a 50-cent range. And so my risk today is about $60-$70, which is fine. I just have to let it test those levels and get to those levels. And, it's very simple to just kind of watch it at this point. Also keeping an eye on NVIDIA, because the reason AMD is down today was actually because of NVIDIA. NVIDIA had bad revenue and guidance that came out. And so that made all the microchip stocks drop, like AMD, MU, and so forth and so on. MU looked a little bit stronger today, kind of rebounding some. But AMD is still kind of down on the day. It's still really about break even. So I'm just kind of sticking to my levels and letting it work. Yeah, I'll find it, Jason. I'll find that. Todd's opening range breakout was the gap and go 1 minute range breakout. But yeah, I can find that class. I'll have to look back and see when Todd and I set that up so I can figure out what day that class was on. But yeah, I'll find it for you, Jason.
All right, ACB taking a turn down here. Let's see if it gets bought up at 86 or gets cracked through.
NVIDIA bouncing up here. And so I think we might get a move on AMD up just because NVIDIA is still climbing here. And NVIDIA is getting pretty close to breaking this high of the day, which is at 138.23. It's at 137.20, and so it's about $1 off of that level, but it's got a really big range. And so watching NVIDIA here to see what it does. I mean, if it breaks this high of the day, it's probably going to end up pushing AMD back up as well, just off of sympathy. And so that's what I'm watching at this point.
Also watching APHA, if that cracks down through the VWAP here. Those are two options right now. You got APHA, ACB on the long side. You can be watching those for flags.
APHA.
Yep.
ACB looks pretty as a flag, honestly. That's one of the prettier flags that I see. Yeah, look at ACB, guys. ACB does have a nice little flag here. You can see it. Very obvious pole. And we got the flag here. Might be breaking it now, actually.
The real key is in the swing right now. You see a nice green bar right here, that good green buy volume. That's when I usually try to get in. Because right here, you can measure your risk right there at 85. And so it's a 3-cent risk.
Yeah, anybody watch that LSU game? That comeback this weekend was legit, man. So yeah, all right. So I hear the subscribe thing going on. Hey, appreciate the sub, Oscar. Welcome, brother. Appreciate it. I can see who it is, but I can't see the list. What's up, Eric? Good morning, man. Yeah, man. I'm happy to be home. Happy to be back trading. Just watching, watching Nvidia specifically. Like I said, if NVIDIA starts to run up here and breaks this high, it's most likely going to push AMD up. And so sticking to the levels here, but it's getting close. Let's see where that high is.
All right, starting to see a push here on MU. Let's see if we start seeing the push everywhere else.
Yeah, here's
MU reacted pretty quickly last time.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's going on, Mitch, is that, like, if you look at NVIDIA here, which is the reason all the microchip stocks are down, NVIDIA is actually pushing up and getting ready to test that previous high of the day, right? The high of the day on NVIDIA is right at around 138. And so it's at 137.30s, but it's getting close here, and that's kind of causing the rest of these moves up. That along with the SPY. You know, they're both following the SPY, but we'll see what we get here.
The SPY finally starting to look bearish on the daily chart. Just needs to crack down through 260s tomorrow, and then we'll be really looking right back down.
Yeah, if it gets under 260s, it looks weak for sure on the daily chart.
That's what I'll be watching for.
All right, so AMD starting to push up here. It's up to 2046. Like I said, risk is about 2073. My risk on the day is about 60, 70 bucks. But it's fine. I accept that risk, and so just letting it work.
All right, ACB tightening up there. Starting to look better.
All right, but yeah, Nvidia is continuing to kind of push and test this previous high of the day, and I think it'll probably break it sometime here. And like I said, if Nvidia breaks, this is probably the main one I'm watching. I mean, the SPY is testing the VWAP, but Nvidia is actually pushing up and testing that previous high of the day. And AMD, from what I see, AMD's following it pretty closely here. Like Nvidia just pulled back a little bit, AMD pulled back a little bit, and so we'll see if AMD and Nvidia, if we'll see if Nvidia gets that momentum to push up and break the high of the day, which I think it probably will. You know, most of the time, but here's a pullback on Nvidia, so we might get a pullback on AMD as well. But most of the time, when it gets this close to that high of the day, it's at least going to try to break it once. And even if it gets rejected after that attempt, I think it's at least going to try to break it here. But the SPY is actually pushing up here, breaking over the VWAP. And so maybe getting a change in the trend of the overall intraday market right now.
All right. ACB looking like it just needs to get bought up here in the 90s with big sizing. You see huge sizing step in there. That's what will give it the momentum to break out.
All right, market's pushing up here. It's at 263.
There it is. There's some buys right there in the 90s for ACB. Let's see if it gets momentum past it. We're up there, 91s.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sticking to my levels with it today, Isaac. The reason I'm kind of sticking to my levels is because the last few days that AMD did this, right? Like AMD Friday dropped down, got really close to stopping me out, and then ended up working and following through. And so even though today probably won't work, and I do understand that, I think I have to just stick with my levels and be very binary with it. If it, you know, stick to my levels, not try to get scared out of the position, because, you know, some days it's going to end up coming right back down. And I think that's all right. So actually, Nvidia just broke the high of the day, like I said, which is what I figured would happen. So Nvidia broke the high of the day. It's up to 137.90s, back down a little bit, but it's still pretty early. You know, if the SPY starts to break the high and Nvidia breaks the high, I'll probably end up jumping out of AMD, just because if the SPY starts to trend up, I don't want to get caught in that upward trend. But I'm sticking to my levels. I think I have to, just based off of how the opening range breakout has been lately. I think I just have to kind of
downward
stick to my
push here, a downward reversal. Let's see if it pushes down here on ACB. It's trying to hold that support there at 86.
All right, we're up to 2050s now on AMD. Like I said, my risk level is at about 2070. So if it breaks 2070, that's my cue. But again, it doesn't look great. Nvidia pushing up, SPY pushing up, and AMD pushing up. So got to stick to my levels and just let them work. But I also have to understand that I'm most likely going to get stopped out in this trade thus far. The good news is that I'm keeping my losses relatively consistent with the sizing, and so I think I'm doing really well with analyzing share size versus the range of these stocks, and so that's the goal, is to keep everything consistent. I need to get my winners up there a little bit more, but so far I've been doing a good job just keeping everything consistent. I want to keep everything roughly around the same size so it's easiest to test, because if it's all over the place, it's much harder to kind of get good data from it.
All right. Head and shoulders building here on MU. I want to see if it's going to break out through the 62 area, or if it's going to break down through this 38, 35s. ACB still holding that flag.
No.
The hold.
Todd, no, I just did the opening range breakout. Like, the opening range breakout worked every day last week, and so I'm just sticking with the opening range breakout. You know, just so far, I've been trading it about 2 weeks now, and last week it worked every day. The week before, it failed 4 days and worked 1 day, and so it's still a little early to tell. But yeah, I'm just sticking with the opening range. Again, though, most of the time, what I'm noticing at least is that the opening range breakout actually works the best on the upside. Like, usually when it pushes up on the upside, it works fairly
Holy
well.
moly, look at AMRN.
Man, it came back some. Wow.
Came back some, it came back more than some.
Right. It broke the high of the day. That's shocking, man.
Yeah, that is shocking. That is a weird looking chart right there. Here comes that head and shoulders pattern for MU. Looking like we're getting a down move. Looks like you might get that move back down.
We'll see. I mean, I'm just sticking to my risk. It's very easy. Like that's why I like the orb, the opening range, is because it's very easy to just stick with. Stick to the strategy. It's very binary. It's not really subjective.
There
It's
you go. Collecting volume on MU.
Nvidia pulling down some as well. SPY dropping back down some. So a little bit better for me, but I
Yep,
wouldn't say my hopes are up with it.
definitely not. ACB back above. Big green bar there, but no volume to follow it. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm watching it.
I am
We
looking at it.
always talk about volume for confirmation.
Yeah, I am looking at ACB. It was a pretty flag, but kind of broke out of the flag pattern a little bit here. Still consolidating though. If it breaks out on that upside, it's big, but range is so small with ACB.
Yeah. All right, so here's a big level for MU that I'm looking at. See if he's gonna crack down below it.
It's also a pretty big level for Nvidia here, which is what MU is following. So like Nvidia broke the high of the day, right? And now we're seeing if Nvidia can actually hold support over that previous high of the day. So it broke the high of the day. It's back. It pulled back some, and now if it bounces here, it's essentially finding support at that previous high of the day and may continue up. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at now. The SPY is actually pushing back up here as well. So like I said, not super confident in it, but just gonna let it go to my levels. That's all I can really do with it. What's up, Minster? Yeah, good morning from Texas as well, man. I'm
All
in the
right,
Houston
there's
area,
some
brother.
volume up there in ACB. ACB showing. Let's see what's gonna happen here.
Jordan's
Over 100,000 shares. That's what I want to see go through.
Jordan said, "What do you mean by range?" I mean the range of price movement. So like, if I look at the range of the first 5 minute candle, the first 5 minute candle had 50 cents in range, right? So from 2010 up to about 20, really about a little bit over 50 cents. From about 2015 to about 2070 was the first range. So about 55 cent range on this first 5 minute candle. And so I use that to determine what share
There it
size to
is.
take.
Look at ACB. Look at that volume stack up there.
Like for instance, Jordan, if the range is big, I take smaller share size. If the range is small, I take bigger share size because I don't want to get in with huge share size with a big range because that's just going to keep my losses and wins inconsistent. And so I want to keep it as consistent as possible. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at here. But like I said, up to 2057, it's got about 13 cents before it stops me out. And I'll give it that time. But the market pushing up doesn't look good for me at least. Oh, and what I mean by ACB is that it's just not moving. Like for instance, if you look at ACB, it's only moved from 655 up to 695 or so. So it's only about a 50 cent range for ACB, which is relatively small. I mean, it's big if you think about it in the overall picture, but it's small relative to like a lot of these other movers today. Like for instance, Cron, if you look at Cron, its range of today was about, let's see, it was about $1.50 compared to ACB's 50 cent range. So it's like it just depends on how much. It's basically how much the stock has moved today. All right, SPY pulling back down some.
There's the volume I wanted to see in ACB. It went up to 264,000. Someone bought up 30,000 and 110,000 at 92.
What's up, Daniel?
So the volume's there now in ACB. Let's see if we can get above it.
Do you take any consideration for the volatility post and pre-market? Yes, absolutely. And a lot of times, like for instance, with AMD showing such a big range in pre-market, this one gapped down like $2, which is a big gap down for AMD. But since that was such a big gap down, my assumption is that when the open happens, it's going to have a bigger range as well.
All right.
All right, Nvidia pushing up. AMD's almost guaranteed to push up with this push up and break of Nvidia. So getting awfully close to stopping me out here, especially with the SPY pushing up. And so looks like today's probably not going to work out with the opening range breakout. But, it's still early. Just going to continue using it, and we'll see what we get with it.
ACB looking like it's about to break out. I like it there.
Yeah, Nvidia is spiking here, so MU should spike. AMD's probably going to spike. And so with Nvidia, which is kind of the root cause of all the volatility in the microchip sector today, it's most likely going to cause these to move as well. But yeah, Nvidia up to the almost 140, so big move here. Seems to be also like AMD actually seems to be following the SPY closely as well, so we'll see which one it follows more, depending on what these do.
All right, let's see if the SPY gets above 263.36 or heads back down to the VWAP on my 15-minute chart, which is 262.92. Want to see a move back down to 262.47 and then a down move. Let's see what happens here. ACB picking up a lot of volume right there in the 90s.
CGC starting to run up as well. What is Cron doing?
It's ran. It's kind of holding up now.
Man, Cron did run. Nice little VWAP bounce on Cron today.
Yeah.
All right, we're probably going to get up to 260s here for AMD. Especially with Nvidia really running like it is. But the SPY's pulling back some, and so we'll see. But Nvidia just saying, you know what? I'm going to rebound today. I doubt it's going to recoup much of these losses, but huge gap down for Nvidia. Man, what is this? This thing gapped down from about 160 down to 136. So man, this thing lost like 20% today.
There's ACB picking up that volume. Good flag breakout there.
All right, AMD starting to spike here. This is where I got to be really, really careful. Just if it breaks my risk, I just got to get out of it. SPY spiking up here, about to break that high. It looks like that previous high right about 263.30s. But yeah, like I said, my risk on the day was about $70. Getting right around that level now. It's at 2065. And I can let it test this high right here, but any significant move over it, I just got to jump out. Not going to keep holding with it breaking the high of the day, especially if the SPY's moving up following it.
Lots and lots of volume in ACB building up there. On breaking out there.
Still, man, yeah, the cannabis stocks are going crazy right now, dude.
There's ACB. Maybe a sympathy play there.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, man, Todd. I'm not one of those that if I'm in a short position and it doesn't go well, I'm not gonna exit and go long. It's just, it's just too swingy for me. You know what I mean? Because even a lot of times, like for instance, a lot of times it'll kind of consolidate like over the range. You know what I mean? And so like it'll bounce off of the high and move back down. And so with that logic, I don't know if I want to get caught in those type of moves. I mean, I understand the logic, but it's not something I'm trying to do. Not yet, at least. What's up, Jonathan? Need help with BIOC. Bought at 229. Anybody think we'll have a reversal? Oh, no, for sure, Todd. I understand what you mean. Like, listen, I'm sure you could make it work, and I'm sure some pro traders do it. You're long at 229. I mean, I don't like it there, but it's all subjective, man. I mean, I don't want to give you the wrong answer, Jonathan, so I don't like it there, but we'll see.
This is where 5-minute charts start looking better than 1-minute charts for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm using on AMD. It's just a 5-minute.
Just gives you an ability to really see the range and not get conflicted by all those little wicks.
Yeah.
Like I think ACB still has one more pullback to the 80, 88, 87 area, then can curl around with a breakout through 7. I don't like it here. I like a little pullback and then a go. MBV got that pullback right now. Back to VWAP. Kind of VWAP bounce mode.
I mean, BIOC is bouncing here. I just, the way it looks, I just don't like it today. At least for me. I mean, it just depends. Depends on which direction, obviously, but I don't want to give you the wrong answer.
So, what's the question?
Somebody said he's in long or BIOC at 229.
229. I mean, relatively, you're in the middle. So, my always concern when being in the middle is asking yourself, are you a bear or are you a bull? If you're in the middle, a lot of times you end up being what we call the pigs. And everyone knows what happens to the pigs.
SPY pulling back down a little bit here.
The pigs get slaughtered, man. Pigs get slaughtered.
Yeah, it's kind of a common saying in trading. MCD. What is this, McDonald's? I mean, it looks kind of like a fade, but who knows, man. All right, SPY dropping back down here. Nvidia still kind of sitting around that previous high of the day. We'll see if it finds support there or not, and we'll see what happens with the SPY here. I think it all depends on the overall market. You know, ideally, I would like to see the SPY wash back down here, but it may bounce at the whole dollar of 263, which would probably be enough to stop me out of AMD.
15-minute looks good. I've been using that for the SPY more often. And I feel like it's been definitely helping.
Yeah, see, there's the bounce on the SPY, which is what I figured. Like, a lot of times they're going to bounce, and it may be enough to stop me out. It just depends here.
I think you're going to know in 1 minute.
Yep. I agree.
The 1040 mark. AMRN looks interesting there. Maybe 1680s off a 20 cent risk. But that's a big range stock. You got to know the share size that you're going to play with.
Also, guys, again, if anybody's interested in using the broker that Mitch and I use, we're using TradeNet, and their 20% off New Year's sale is done, but you could still get 10% off TradeNet packages by going through my link, and we make a commission from it. So if you want to help support the channel, you can go through the link. But yeah, if you're interested in using the broker, you can still get 10% off by going through that link I just posted. So if you want to help support the channel, you can. AMD dropping back down some here, which is good. You know, the SPY dropping with it, and so not bad overall here. I want to see the break under 2050s, which is a big if. But it kind of confirmed my risk level, right? So now if it breaks my risk level, super easy trade to follow. It confirmed it once, and now I just kind of have to let it work here. But we'll see what we get. You know, I think it all depends on what the SPY does here. SPY pulled back under 263 for a split moment, and now it's back up there. Appreciate the sub, Steven. Welcome, bro. Appreciate it. But yeah, I think it ultimately depends on what the SPY does here. I think the SPY is testing 263 and bouncing there. So if we get a breakdown under 263, it looks better. But if not, you know, very easy trade to follow now if it breaks this high here. SPY bouncing right off of 263. Pushing up here. And like I said, any significant bounce on the SPY is going to be enough to probably stop me out of this AMD trade. Especially with NVIDIA pushing up like it is too. NVIDIA just broke highs again. And so probably going to get me out here, but I'll give it a little bit of time. Alright, SPY dropping back down here. This 263 level looks significant considering it's the whole dollar. So if this does start to come back down, I'm probably just going to close it down and update you guys because it could stay in this range for a while. And so if it doesn't end up stopping me out here, I'll give it a little bit of time. But if not, I'll probably close it down and just give it a minute. Let it work. Update you guys with a post or something to let you guys know how it went. But you can probably keep track of AMD. Like I said, if AMD breaks that high at 2070 or so, that's my cue to jump out of it. And so the SPY's pushing up some here. We're almost guaranteed to get a bounce on AMD now. And so I'm sure it'll probably bounce up to 2065 at least here. But the SPY's running up significantly here. Alright, so SPY bouncing up here. Looking much, much worse for me with this movement in the SPY. If you guys want to see what I'm looking at what the SPY's doing here. So the SPY's breaking the high of the day and looks like it's probably about to break the overall high of the day on the SPY. So the high of the day on the SPY during intraday trading is right around this 263 level. And so the SPY actually did just break that. So not looking too hot for me unless the SPY turns around here and actually rebounds off of that high of the day. Not looking great. But, I mean, AMD's still down some. Maybe following NVIDIA here, but we'll give it time. Sticking to my levels.
There's some action coming in ACB. ACB looking really interesting now.
Found a bug in Thinkorswim paper trade to profit AVCO Lira while working second trade. I noticed it thinks I now did 3 buys and I'm way red. No takebacks. Yeah, man. Good thing it was just paper trading though.
Hey. Yeah, ACB looking really good on the 5-minute.
Yeah, it's still kind of consolidating in that range. I mean, ideally, it wouldn't be bad if the SPY just kind of bounced off of these highs, but not getting my hopes up for sure. Because AMD is looking strong here, especially if it pushes up and breaks this high. $266, gotta be careful. SPY pulling back down some here.
Whoa, 25,000 shares going through there twice there, 690, 691. Big share size and starting to get up in this.
Steven, so you mean my volume? I probably just have to get a little bit closer to the mic. I think my volume is up as much as it can be. But yeah, it's just probably me having to get a little bit closer to the mic. It should probably sound better if I do this. All right, so the SPY is dropping. Maybe we'll get a drop in AMD, but again, most likely getting stopped out. Just waiting for it to actually test these levels here. Getting close. Alright, so we're getting a little bounce in the SPY. Still testing. But Nvidia is still just climbing up here. Not looking back. Alright, getting very, very close to my risk level.
This is interesting.
Alright, it's actually testing my risk level. The SPY is dropping. I'm giving it a little second, but hand over the cover button. SPY's dropping. That's the only reason I'm still in this, because the SPY is pulling back significantly here. But again, if it significantly breaks, I got to get out. Mostly because Nvidia is still kind of pushing up in a really, really strong way. But the SPY is dropping big here, so like I'll let it work a little bit, but hand over the cover button. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind letting it test my risk level. Like I said, the reason I'm still holding is because look at the SPY. The SPY is pulling back significantly here, and so maybe we'll get a pushback. But again, it's kind of it kind of all depends on what AMD does. Even if the SPY drops significantly, if AMD continues to consolidate and breaks that risk, I'm out. So I'll let it test, but hand over the cover button. Right, and that's kind of what I'm looking at, Todd. It's struggling to get over that open. There we go. SPY back down to that 263 level. Todd. But yeah, dropping in Nvidia, dropping in the SPY, so just makes my exit really easy on this. Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the overall day today. Like, if I put the SPY on a 5-minute and then I look at AMD on a 5-minute, they look very, very similar. So like if you look at both of these, they look very, very similar. Yeah, I hate politics, man. Politics is so dumb. All of it. Both sides. You know, people spend their day arguing about politics, and I'm just kind of like, they're all liars. You know, I don't like any politician. I think it really what I hate is team politics. All right, so it's testing the open again. We'll see what we get. All right, I'm out. All right, guys, that's it. I figured I would get stopped out. SPY dropping down some, so maybe we'll get a rejection here, but I don't feel like holding it through it. But yeah, all I can really do, guys, is just stick to my levels. You know, I stuck to my levels in this trade, and that's all I could really do. So no stress. Last week was a good week for the opening range breakout, and so hopefully this week's a little bit better. Today it didn't work out, but overall, you know, we'll see how it goes. Like I said, regardless of what happens with this, I have enough money to get another account if I really need to. And the goal of this is just to really document my testing of the opening range breakout, to just see how viable it is. And so we'll see what we get here. I'll let you guys know. I'll post an update video or a recap video today. And then, like I said, I'm just going to stick with the levels. Last week, again, the opening range breakout worked every day last week on AMD. And so I just have to stick with it. And if it doesn't work, I can't let, you know, a lot of times traders get really wrapped up in short-term results. And I think that with any strategy, you have to give it time to see if it's actually going to be viable. You know, every strategy is going to have good and bad weeks. And so I think that you really just have to give it time and just really judge a larger sample size of whether the strategy is going to be beneficial or not. And that's why I think doing this is good. That's why I think doing this is important, in that overall, I think that it'll be beneficial for traders to see kind of the testing process of the opening range. But again, if anybody wants to use the broker that I use, you can go through my link. I'll post it here. The 20% off sale is done, but you could still get 10% off if you go through my link. I'm assuming Mitchy Johnny is probably OTEP. I'm not showing my graph anymore. I'll show my graph. I don't care about it. But when I'm testing the opening range and I start to trade with larger sizing, my graph really isn't pretty right now. But like I said, it's mostly because I started to use large sizing 2 weeks ago with the opening range breakout, and the following week wasn't great. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to assume Mitchy Johnny is most likely OTEP. And so we'll see what he says, but I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, guys, good luck for the rest of the day. Also, go check out Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas is cool enough to allow me to stream these scans every day. And so if you want to check out the scanner that I'm using, I'll post that link here as well.
There's the volume coming into ACB. ACB getting a lot of volume there. 50,000 shares there going through on the last candle. There's a nice spike. 149,000 shares in 1 minute. There it is. There's the volume to follow that flag play. All right, guys, you want to see that all that volume that's showing up at 693? You want to see it just start rolling on through. You see the level 2s at 168.
Here, I'll throw you up. Hold on. Are you thinking about getting into it?
I'm not going to. I would have got into it. So I had to get into it at 690.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no point now. It's just more along. I just wanted to call it out. That's an easy flag play for everybody. 690s. Risk could have been down here to 80, 88 or 85s. You want to see 693s just get bought up. There they are. Look at that.
Yeah, man, it looked like a nice flag play. I just didn't like the consolidation after it. But if it pushes up and breaks these highs here, it could run for sure. It's just a small range stock, though. So it's not really my cup of tea, but it's starting to push here for sure. It's about to break these highs here. It's testing it right now. Let's see.
Easy pattern to read on a 5-minute chart.
Yeah. Look, there he goes, man. OTAP, man. It's funny, man. The dude's back. Like I've never seen a dude more obsessed with somebody in their life, man. Hey, like I said, OTAP, man. Listen, bro. Hating on me is not gonna make you feel better about yourself, bro. And so, like I said, man, for you to make this many fake accounts every day, bro, it kind of just shows how insecure you've got to be, man. Because, like, the truth is, this is what it is, guys. Mitch and I don't claim to be experts. We don't claim to be gurus. We don't claim to be profitable, you know? Like, we're just giving people a route to watch what it's really like for traders, you know, in the market, showing people everything. And so to hate on that, like I said, man, did I get with your wife or something, bro? Like, is that what you're upset about, man? Like, I don't understand. But, good luck, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow, same time as always. Again, go check out TradeNet if you're interested in using the broker that Mitch and I do. I posted the Trade Ideas link as well, so if you want to go check out the scanner that Mitch and I are using, you can go check that out. And, yeah, good luck for the rest of the day, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Yeah, man. Listen, Jay. Like I said, man, here's the thing, right? He is upset for something, right? But what I'm doing here shouldn't bother him as much as it does, right? For that dude to make like 20 fake accounts, I kind of feel bad for him, man. Like I said, I just kind of feel bad for him because it's like the dude's got to be super insecure. For some reason, he's kind of pinning that insecurity on me. And like I said, man, I just kind of feel bad for the dude. I'm not going to even acknowledge it anymore, but again, I just feel bad for I feel bad for the dude because it's like he says stuff, I ban him immediately. And then he makes another account, gets banned immediately. And then it's kind of like, all right, dude, you know, does what I'm doing here bother you that much? Because it shouldn't. But yeah, good luck, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow, same time as always. And be safe in this market, guys. Really volatile day today. Yeah, man. Yeah, no stress, Harsha. Appreciate it, guys.
There's that nice breakout on ACB.
Yeah, there it goes. It's up to 7.
That's what I expected. And then look at all that sizing stacking up on the ask, guys.
Yep. I can see that. This got to be a higher float stock, though. This has got to be one of the higher float cannabis plays, though.
I mean, it only has, I think, like 40. It's just getting bought up there. A lot of share size.
We'll see. Like I said, range is small. What did you say? It only has a 40 mil float?
Yeah, I think it has like a 40-something mil. Not too big of a float.
Oh, it has 500 mil. Yeah, that's 500? What I figured.
It's getting bought up there. Pretty big there.
Yeah, then it's a larger float stock. Just looking at the level 2, it looks like a large float stock is what it seems. Just looking at all the orders on the level 2. Plus, the range is small. Usually, the bigger the float, the smaller the range.
And normally doesn't have this big of a kind of surge of volume.
Let me look it up.
2.8 million. So what we're seeing is essentially this is the next stock that everyone's talking about being potentially bought up.
Yeah, it's got a billion float, 958 million. So just about a billion in float. But yeah, huge float. But yeah, good luck, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right, guys.